I'm sure that'll be the same thing for the East, when Easter rolls around, because we're probably all still going to be inside.
What's up, UD? Undoubtedly Dallas, coming at you.
Recording from our homes today, like responsible
from our
social
respective
distancers.
Exactly, from our respective residences.
I know.
I feel like that's what this video is all going to be about. We kind of got on and we're like, well, we just need to talk to the Undoubtedly Dallas community today because they haven't heard from us in a bit. And what do we want to talk about? And I feel like the big elephant in the room is that we're all stuck inside.
I know. No taco videos, no community events. I have been able, everybody's been practicing safe social distancing outside. So it's been nice to go for walks. The weather has cooperated the last few days, so that's nice too.
Yeah, dude. Still been able to get out there and run and bike. And I did my first riding with my clip-in pedals the other day.
Did you fall down?
Oh, I immediately fell down. I've been putting it off for 6 months, and then I've been doing it on my trainer in the living room, and I felt like I was getting real good at it. I took it outside, put my pedals on, realized I didn't put my pedals on sort of the right way. You kind of got to get going and then clip in. I just tried to stand there and clip in and just fucking immediately fell.
Just fell down. That's hilarious.
Just no chance.
I've never tried to do it, but everybody says they fall down the first time.
Yeah, it was. And it was the one time during the day when other people happened to be outside. So everybody saw everything.
Everybody saw it. Hopefully they got video.
You good, right? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. I do this how I start every time.
Yeah, exactly. Just testing the pavement.
I know. I want to know how everybody's doing. I guess leave in the comments section. I think we're more bored than usual. Are you practicing safe social distancing? Or are you I don't even care. I'm going about business as usual. No judgment here.
I hope you're practicing safe social distancing so this can be over sooner, but I understand it if you're super stir crazy too, because I am as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing is I don't think safe social, I was talking to somebody the other day after Dallas in particular was shut it all down. They were like, how am I supposed to get to the store? And you're like, dude, did you actually not listen?
Yeah, they didn't say you couldn't go anywhere.
This isn't martial law.
Right.
They're not going to pull you over if you're driving down the street. We as real estate agents, we say this in every video, but Brian and I sell houses too. That's why we bring you guys these community videos. But Dallas is shut down. They actually released something today that said, if you're a real estate agent practicing, showing homes, doing open houses, you'll be fined $1,000.
Yep.
And you should be.
So here's the deal, right? And let's jump into that so Dallas is a no-no. Colin, Denton, and Tarrant right now, it's very sort of...
It's almost city by city, it seems like.
It's almost city by city. It's very ambiguous. Collin County has decided that all businesses are essential, which I could just think of 50 off the top of my head that aren't essential. If you're going to get a haircut right now, then you're a dummy, right? That's not essential. People went for thousands of years without them, right? So, but cities are stepping in. It's really weird. So if you're in the market, if you want to know what's going on real estate wise, it's ambiguous as far as where we can show houses, where we can't, all that type of stuff. All that's changing though is we're just relying more on technology, right?
Yep.
So if you are still in the market to buy a home, we're getting virtual tours from all of our sellers, right? It's not exactly like being there, but it's a supplement to helping you at least make a decision as far as whether or not, when you start to look for a home, I tell this to all of our buyers or the buyers that I work with. I'm like, look, the first set of showings that we're going to do, this is purely educational. Because a lot of times you don't even know what you want until you start seeing homes in person. And then you start going you start to realize what your life would be in different places, stuff like that. You're still able to do that with virtual tours. So there's a whole chunk of the process that you can still accomplish straight up just through technology.
I agree. And I think the other thing too, that people really need to realize is there's lots of things agents can do to be creative, right? We're talking about virtual tours. We're not just talking about taking the photos and putting them in a slideshow.
Sure.
We're having the sellers, because we're not going in their houses right now, we're having the sellers walk through the home and do a video recording so you can see how the hall bends into the bedroom or how short it really is to that closet door, right? The other part of that I think is really helpful that we haven't had an opportunity to do yet because we're only, a week into this thing or whatever. But something I'm excited about doing is when we get somebody who's really excited about that video and actually they have some more questions about the house, we can just call the seller and be like, hey, they're asking about the paint in this room. Can you go get me a closer video of that, right?
Yeah.
And there's so much of this. And guys, this already happens on both coasts. People buy houses with never walking inside. I once sold a house to a guy I had never met that neither of us have never been inside of and didn't even close it, meet each other at the closing table. This happens more
Yeah,
frequently than
absolutely
you would
happens.
think it does.
Yep. People buy new construction homes without seeing them in person, right? They're going off floor plans and finish outs and things like that. And people do this in other asset classes, right? Like there are plenty of companies like Carvana and things like that. Like people buy automobiles online and have for a while now. And yeah, that doesn't cost as much as a house, but it's still something that you're going to live in for 3 to 5 years, right? Like a car is something you're going to drive every single day. And people have gotten used to that. If this were to become the new normal for like, let's just go crazy and say like 2 years for some reason, right? Like that's just hyperbolic, but people would adapt to this, right? People would get used to sellers and buyers communicating more on minutia like details, like, can you get us a close up of this wood rot on this door frame? We want to see if we need to get that replaced or whatever. Like essential services do include things like inspectors, appraisers, movers, all that type of stuff. So everybody and title companies. So everybody to get the transaction from start to finish is still in business. We've had tons of closings still taking place. There's a title company that I just heard of yesterday that is now doing completely virtual closings. And so what they're doing is basically the buyers and sellers before the closing takes place are basically just signing POA, power of attorney, to a neutral arbitrator that will then go sign the documents for them at the office. And they'll obviously distance and quarantine, within the office or whatever, so there's nobody else around them. But basically, you review all the documents. You can even, I think they're even having people sign them virtually. And then because virtual signatures on title documents is kind of iffy on whether or not that's binding or whatever, they're then having a POA sign the documents in person as well on their behalf.
It's been pretty interesting how
pretty
how
crazy.
creative people have gotten to kind of make it through this. Even
100%.
just with how they're running their communities, right? Like just, teachers driving through communities, or people doing, the Shamrock or the Bears. I'm sure that'll be the same thing for the East, when Easter rolls around, because we're probably all still going to be inside. Little Easter eggs in the windows. It's been really cool to see how the community in all communities are coming together across the country during this whole thing.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is that whenever there's disruption, there's that initial hint of like panic. Like people just, I would just say industry professionals especially are just like, what are we doing? What's happening? The reality is people don't like their lives shut down, and they will adapt. People were already starting to see that. The real estate market, we've been fortunate enough, I was saying this before on another podcast we're just doing, we've been fortunate enough to execute 19 contracts this month. And I think we're going to have 20 today. We're fortunate enough to have an amazing business where we're still able to do that. But I only put that out to say that that's a normal march for us.
Yep.
We haven't seen it slow down, and so we are finding ways to still get business done. If you're one of those people that just wants to hold off, 100%.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
That's one thing we're not doing, is we're not trying to sit here and put people at ease if they feel uncomfortable, because none of us are virologists, right? Like if you're legitimately concerned, then push it back, push your plans back. We're here to answer any questions still for those types of people. And we certainly respect that. But there's a whole lot of people utilizing other tools to still get business done. That hasn't seemed to skip a beat.
And I think that's been probably one of the more curious things about our industry is, and I think part of the reason why our march hasn't changed very much is there are a lot of real estate agents who just aren't, like, not going out and showing homes, because I will tell you right now, our team is not showing homes.
Right.
Like there have been a couple in some of the counties that are still allowing it early on, but I don't think anybody's doing much right now that they don't have to be doing. Right. So I think you can practice the safe social distancing thing and still be effective in helping your clients, which is what we hope to do for everybody. Yep. But there are plenty of agents who are just not working right now at all, doing nothing. 100%. This is a little forced excuse for them to fail for a while, right? Like,
well, it's working for us and we're still working.
Yep, it is. We're curious too, like I said, if anybody's watching this and there's anything you need, within reason, we've got a friend who started a really great local group called DFW Cares. So you should go check that out if you have supplies or things that could be helpful. I think that's really cool. They're one of the things that I saw inside that group was like a guy the other day, it was like his business has been shut down because the restaurant industry is just getting murdered in DFW right now. And that's what he was in. And he like legitimately was like offering to mow people's lawns, but he didn't even have a lawnmower. So I think by the end of the comment thread, they worked out a way to get him a lawnmower for like $25. Really? There were at least 2 or 3 people who had already committed to having him come over and mow their lawns. Right.
That's amazing.
So, if you need to know where you can go drive up to get tested, there's a lot of those in the Metroplex right now. You don't have to get out of your car. They're testing people in the car.
Yep.
Right.
100%.
So, anything that you guys need, that's what we're here to do, is be a resource. We understand that real estate's not something that a lot of people have a need for right now, but that doesn't mean there aren't still plenty of things that people are going without.
Yeah. And we got a little bit of time on our hands now, so we're happy to help any way that we can. So
exactly.
Hit us up, drop a comment, contact us. Our information is always in the description here on YouTube. So let us know what you need or what we can do, and anything that we can, we're here for you.
Yeah, and don't freak out. This is all going to pass as long as we just continue to be reasonable people and look out for our neighbors. I don't really see how this could go wrong for civilization. But it certainly is not going to be fun to get out the other side of. It's not.
100%. So enjoy the quarantine, the lockdown, stay safe, be cool. Derek,
next week.
Take us out.